What I'd like to talk to you about today are the difficult choices we need to face. Deeply personal choices. I've spent years with CEOs, CIOs, senior teams behind closed doors. And I've been listening to what keeps them awake at night. And what I want to share with you is the top 3 for this coming year. But the influence is ultimately around you as a person. What I'm drawing on is Ray Kurzweil, co-founder of Singularity University. He established that university simply because our technologies are making exponential leaps, but we are not. We, in how we learn and how we lead, need to find better ways to leap exponentially every single year. Less than half of all of these things are on your radar screens. Now, in some cases, I get it. I could argue your point of view. It's like blockchain is not going to be a reality, or mesh apps or digital twins is not going to be a reality in my environment. I can put that aside. But what's happening when they're not on our radar screens, we're missing seeing the trends that are moving past us. We need to be aware of these trends so that we can prepare in a better way. In 2017, you have a choice to make. Which movie are you going to star in? You build the tools. Iron Man is a Google Glass future, a very optimistic future. Heads-up displays everywhere, all data that we get, it's very empowering. Every individual gets a display where they can use that information to make personal decisions all the time. It's a very empowering future. That's one movie. The other, Minority Report, is where you have pre-crime police anticipating if somebody is going to do anything bad. Any of you with HR backgrounds would recognize this as Theory X or Theory Y. Different views of how we view, can we trust our people or do we have to protect ourselves against our people? Now, you may be thinking, Bill, you're setting up a world that's either Darth Vader or Jedi. It's not really evil. It's not really... I'll admit, none of you are going to be really trying to screw the workforce. But let's go beyond that. What are the pressures? Let's be very honest about the pressures that you feel every day. Are you feeling pressures for more, better, faster, cheaper, risk mitigation, security? Or are you feeling pressure from above for equipping and freeing the workforce? Hear the tone in my voice? That's the change. That's the pressure that you're feeling. So it's not evil, but it is real. It's like he noted at one of the world's largest technology companies event of a big rollout of one of their biggest financial software earlier this year. And one of the CIOs for this organization got up, and I'll use my Minority Report hands. He pointed to digital displays, and we talked about how the power that the C-suite now had to control resource allocations and cost. You know, if you tweak this and you tweak this, if you don't have enough people in the right place, you can actually at the C-suite level change people's vacations in order to make sure that you have the right resources at the right time. Very corporate-centered. I got up after this guy. I threw out half my slides, and I said, wait a second. Do you realize what you just did? There's a mother of 3 kids out there, a single mom, who for 3 years has been saving up to take her kids to Disneyland. And for 3 years, her 3 kids were sitting there waiting for this joyful moment, and you just resource allocated them out of it. Are we thinking about these things? Are you willing to disrupt yourself to think differently about all the stakeholder groups you represent? Not just corporate-centered, more, better, faster, cheaper. Are you willing to be an advocate for the stakeholders? Are you willing to stand up in a meeting where nobody is truly representing the workforce's needs and truly advocate for that workforce? Which means, are you willing to be a disruptive hero to stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves in your meetings? Simpler for whom? Automatically, what's going on inside most C-suite members' heads, simpler for the company. But that's not necessarily where the real work needs to be done. Now, between the tension, the dynamic tension between the workforce and the company, who do you think the ultimate winner is most of the time, and who do you think the ultimate loser is most of the time? Things are being made simpler for us to manage the complexity of marketplace dynamics in the company, but we're shoving a lot of stuff down at the workforce. So what I want you to understand from an IT perspective, consumerization of IT is absolutely not about your tools, your technology, or your security. Consumerization of IT is, are you making as simple for me as the phone that I carry around that I personalized? It's about power. Do you respect me and give me enough power to manage my life? I asked people, 7,000 people around the globe, how many of you can achieve your dreams where you currently work? Less than 10%. What do you think that bodes for the people you want to retain? Not just pay, not just benefits, but can I achieve my dreams where I work?
It's all about organizing ourselves better in 2017. So when we increase the productivity and cost and time is saved, at the same time, keep our workforce also happy enough.
Third choice is, what do you want your legacy to be? Sometime in the next 2 to 3 years, maximum 5, your legacy will be locked in about how you really made a difference. Everything is changing so exponentially, so fast. Your job is to put your personal stamp on it as to what will you take a stand for? How do you manage the personal transformation of yourself and everyone else you touch? If I reduce all of this down to 2 words, as weird as this may sound in a tech, CIO, engineering biased audience, love, empathy. Everything you do, approach it, that everything you do is an act of showing love towards that stakeholder. And your designs, your protocols, your processes, your procedures, they're all going to make life more complicated and waste a lot more of those 1440 minutes unless you have empathy.